Welcome back to the MapMotion Flutter tutorial series. In this part, we'll dive into UI and animations, bringing the map to life with smooth movements, interactive markers, and dynamic paths. Let's get started. As you know, in the previous part, we glanced at the business logic and MAVM architecture. We looked these sides, and in this video, we are gonna focus the UI components, what we have in the animations, how we draw these lines, or maybe how we use Looty, etc. Okay, so let us start with packages again. As the previous video, we use Flutter map animations because in the normal Flutter map we have to write our animations on our own. For example, when I click the reset button here, it will go to initial location, but we want to go to there smoothly, like this. As you see, camera follows our marker, and this is a smooth animation that we wanted to do it. So apart from that, we have Looty. As you see here, we have a marker instead of a dynamic constant widget. We have here an animated file which is coming from assets, actually here location JSON. This is a location icon, let's say. And apart from that, we have soft edge blur. As you see, for the app bar side, we have a blurred part, right? We can see the map, but the blurred version you can see here. So using this soft edge blur package gives us a more professional feelings. So which is good. And that's it, yeah. Cupertino icons, default one. Anyway, so let's look at what we have. Actually, in this video, we will focus on views folder, okay? Because we've looked all the files, all the folders in the previous video, and we will look to views folder. So let's start with the basic one, location permission denied view we have, okay? When we have no location permission, we show this page. How? I'm gonna show you, but this is a simple page, okay? We just have a scaffold and one text, one icon, and no more. Let me show. Okay, right now we have a location permission, right? When we close the use location, we see we have no location right now in our application, and so that we show location permission denied view. And as I said, this is a simple view, and that's it for that view. Let's move to other folder, which will be our main focus, map view. But first, of course, we need to open our location like that. Okay, we are good to go. So I'm gonna mention for this layer, the red one, red area, okay, when the time comes. But for now, let's start with map view. Okay, map view is nothing but just starting with a scaffold. Of course, before that scaffold, we need to check if location permission is not granted or location services are off, the location services of phone. We need to show immediately the denied view that I showed you. How it works? First, we need to get our permission state from permission state, permission qubit. And with that state, we control is location permission granted or is location services enabled parameters. Of course, we need to check if is location permission is not granted or is location services not enabled, which means we have no access to location correctly, so that we need to show location permission denied view. But of course, if we have a correct location permission, so that we need to proceed with the map view. The map view is also the simple one. Yeah, this one will be only transparent. Yeah, I'm gonna push this one soon because we have transparent color in the core folder, and it's unnecessary to create color.transparent one more. Anyway, I'm gonna push this one. So we use extend body behind app bar. Because why? Because let us remove this and see what happens. We use soft edge blur and we want to extend our body right behind the app bar to go more to top. So we use this as true, this parameter as true. And apart from that, the app bar is the basic one. We just give a transparent color. So in the body we have block consumer. Why? Because we want to use both listener and builder together for the same qubit, which is the location qubit. In the listener part, we check if the user location is not null and the initial location is not set, which means we have a location in our hands so that we can start to proceed some things. But of course, if we have no location, we don't have to do anything for that part. So for the builder, again, the same scenario happens. If we have user location, then we return the map view body, which you can see here. But if we have no user location right now, think like we opened our location, but we are still waiting to get our location, because not always we get our location immediately. We have to wait like 3 or 4 seconds, maybe 5 seconds, right? So we are waiting for that time. After that, we show our map view body. Of course, right now you will ask, what are these variables like pet points, initial location set, etc. Of course, before we go to map view body, I'm gonna show what are they, and also we have some functions like reset everything, for example, maybe handle map tab, etc. So let us start with the top. Okay, we have map controller. Actually, map controller is for Flutter map, but we use animated map controller. Why? Because we use that package, Flutter map animations package. So in the documentation of Flutter map animation, it says instead of using the map controller directly, use animated map controller to use the animations like this. Okay, let's go somewhere, right? So we can reset it. So the camera follows our marker, right? So for the movement controller, we use animation controller, and of course for the Lottie controller, again we use animation controller. One mark for the Lottie, when we start to tap somewhere for the first time. Okay, let's refresh the application and see. In the beginning of the app, we have no animation. You can see here, but when we tap somewhere, we start the animation and we will not stop it. The aim of this, of course, to show you it's animated. Okay, you can stop in anywhere. For example, when you tap somewhere, you may want to remove the animation when you tap the reset button. Of course, you can do, but for the tutorial purposes, I didn't do it. If you want to do it, what you can do is actually here you can see Lottie controller the stop. When you say this and save, and when you want to tap the reset button, you will get a stopped animation. For example, let's tap the reset button. Okay, currently we have this. I tapped the reset button and you can see we have no animation anymore until we tap somewhere. Okay, anyway, let's remove it and refresh the app. Okay, that's good. So what else we have? We have movement controller, as I said. We control our movement. For example, when I tap somewhere like Izmir here, we go here. How? We use movement controller actually. We use position tween and animated positions for the animation of the movements. We have initial point. Actually, we put the value to there. Which value? When we get the user's location, we put as initial point. So we have that variable. We have a pet point variable. Why? Because when we move behind of the marker, we have a polyline. You can see the indigo color, this one. So we have pet points in here. For the visibility, we use visible variable, which is for our reset button. The initial location set false means in the beginning of the app, we say, okay, we have no initial location. We need to get the user's current location so that we set this false. When we get the initial location, we set it to true. We know that we are ready to go. Yeah, in the init state, we set some values to this controller. And of course, we need to dispose the controllers. Reset everything function works like refreshing the app. Handle map tab we have. Okay, so first of all, we start with the Lottie. As I said, when I tap somewhere, I animate our marker, and I don't want to animate every time when I tap. So I have an if condition here. The other one, the pet points, as I said, we have polylines here. So we have position tween, movement controller, and map controller to follow our marker. I mean the camera follows, of course. For the visibility, it's related with our button. When we move from our current location, I mean the initial location, we show the reset button, but when we go back to the initial location like this, we do it invisible. Yeah, like that actually. So yeah, that's it. It's time to go for map view body. So in the map view body, we start with API key. Which API key? Let me show. There is a link. Okay, this one, this link, and it's coming from Stadia Maps to get the map. And to use this, at least for the both pro and free versions, we need an API key, and I got my API key from there for free. Just you need to sign up. Let me show. Okay, there are some type of maps. We can change our map view, by the way. Let's say I want to use this. Okay, let's see, explore, and okay, what's the name? This one, right? Let's copy it for the style and paste it here and refresh the application. Yeah, as you see, the view has changed because we changed our Stadia Maps style, actually the tile one, so we can play with this. But anyway, let's go back and refresh our application. There is point variable, as you see here. I put this here for the tutorial purposes. Actually, I don't use this one, but in the application you see there is a red square right here. So it's coming from these points, and we use this point in the polygon layer. We have a red area, which is actually a polygon, okay? And we have points. We can change the color, for example. As you see, the color has changed. Anyway, for the bounds, if we don't want to exceed the apps map, we need to use bounds. So let's remove the bounds and see what happens. Okay, as you see, I removed the bounds and I'm gonna go to top of the page. Yeah, here you can see we have empty gaps, right? So we don't want this, and so that we use camera constraints so that we have bounds. So the control points are related with soft edge blur, so that we use control points. Let's refresh the app to see. Yeah, here. For example, if I do size like 500, what happens? The blur is bigger than the previous one, right? So we can play with this too. So we have here a stack because we want to use our map and reset button together. The rest of the layers are simple one. So we have a reset button finally. The reset button works simple. The only consideration is we have visibility widget to play with this button. If the visible is true, we can see our button, but if the visible is false, we cannot see the button like this. And that's it actually. Yeah, that's it for this part of the tutorial. If you found this helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next part. See you on the next one. Flutter.